Hello, my curious souls. I hope you are all doing well out there. Welcome to Wandering the Soul Tarot, where we use tarot as a tool for spiritual growth and self-discovery, and not just to predict the future, but to create it for ourselves. My name is Amanda. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your time and energy with me today. Today's reading is going to be a mystery message from your spirit guides. And we have 3 soul paths for you to choose from today. If you are ready to get into your reading, all of the timestamps are in the description box. Remember, with these tarot readings or any other general tarot readings, messages will not fully or at all resonate with everyone. They should also feel confirming or inspiring for you, so please trust your intuition and use your free will to decide what feels best and lovingly leave the rest. If this reading does resonate and you'd like to dive a little deeper with a personal reading, the link to book that is in the description box. Alright, so if you feel ready to dive in, click on the timestamp in the description box, but for those who would like an introduction to the soul paths, let me do that now. So for soul path 1, we have closure with expansion incoming and the red tiger's eye stone. For soul path 2, we have observe with all of the answers are within and the aragonite stone. And for soul path 3, we have calm with you don't always need a plan and the tree agate stone. So use your intuition now to choose the soul path that resonates with you the most. Then click on the appropriate timestamp to jump straight into your reading, and we will see you over there. Hello, soul path 1. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the closure card with the expansion incoming card. Now, I feel like there are there's a closure and an expansion because of this closure. So I feel like there's an opening up or an expansion of options or ideas coming in because something is being put to rest, being released, being closed up. And because of that, I feel there's something that you are experiencing more of, or there's more options available to you. I'm just looking at the bottom of this card here, where there's a little house here, and from their perspective, there's just one moon. However, the release of this idea of there's just one moon or one option or one idea may open up the thoughts or the options or the idea that there are more than one if there's this release of perception that there is only one. I'm hoping that is making sense. So because you're maybe looking elsewhere, because you've closed off or released the idea that there is only one, that it automatically opens up new doorways, new opportunities, new ideas, or more of that. Now, I'm not sure specifically in what area this is for your life. It could be career or money. It could be relationships or within self. There could be some subconscious exploration that you don't want to feel a certain way anymore. So you are putting a close to something from your past or an old pattern or belief that you have experienced a lot of, and you want to explore and experience more. And because of that, there's more expansion, there's more experiences, and there's spiritual growth because of that. So we will get into the cards now to take a peek at what this might be regarding. So let's get an energy card for you. Where are you currently at? Just to get your energy for soul path 1. What is their energy? Okay, so we have the authority card with the number 4. This is about foundations, and it's not just about foundations. This is emotional, spiritual, monetary, or physical. So it's bringing all of those pieces together in order to create a really firm foundation. And this is also having authority, more authority over your life, over your choices, over your expression, And the red tiger's eye, just to go back to that for a minute, it speaks to physical activity. It aligns our actions to our spiritual beliefs, or helps us in that effort, and it helps us to maintain strong and healthy relationships. So again, I'm getting this idea that you maybe want to see expansion in multiple areas, and I feel you're starting within self, maybe within your physical body or your spiritual body, and because of that, everything in the external starts to expand, whether that is your social networks, the way you make money or earn money, the amount of money that you are kind of open to receiving expands because you are seeing yourself as worthy of more. So you are allowing more. And I feel there's a real authoritative, you have a vision about how you want to live life, and you are setting yourself up to bring that vision to life. This is also very fatherly in the sense where this is rules and regulations and learning to do things in a certain way. This is also structure too, so you might be feeling or needing a little more structure in your life so that you have a certain process or plan that you can follow and see results from. The red tiger's eye is also associated with the root chakra, which is about those foundations within the body, our trust within self, our stability, as well as the sacral and the solar plexus. So having all of those three chakras balanced allows us to step out into the world with security, with safety, and using our creativity and our expression to really find people, places, and things that are aligned to us on a spiritual level. It's also fire and earth as well. So you could be a fire sign or you could be an earth sign. And this red tiger's eye, funnily enough, is also associated with the number 4. So 4s could be, or 4 could be an aligned number for you, but it is about this idea of foundation and firm structure. So I feel this is the energy that you are currently embodying at this time, or would like to embody. So I want to know what this expansion and closure is all about. But first, let's leave it open to Spirit. What would you like to share with Soul Path 1 first? We'll get 2 cards. Soul Path, thank you. 1 more. Ooh, you got 3. Okay. Okay, so this is the closure. Okay, so Spirit does want to talk about it. Funny when they kind of align. But the first card that came out was the 9 of Swords, and it was in the sideways position. And then we have the Death and the Chariot card, which are pretty heavy hitter energies. These are major arcanas, which are usually tied to universal energies that are encouraging you or influencing you for spiritual, personal, or professional growth. And I feel that's kind of what's happening, especially because the Emperor came out as well, which is also a major arcana. And I feel like this shift, this movement to close something and to step into this expansion has possibly been quite stressful for you. I feel like it's a lot of mental aspects that you're dealing with, and not necessarily in a specific area, but I feel your mental health or the way you think about something or the things that you ruminate about or stress or worry about has really affected your movement forward, or has shifted or altered your behaviors and possibly controlled your actions, because there is possibly fear or there is post-traumatic stress that you're managing. And I feel this is what's coming to a close, is finally putting this 9 of Swords to rest and dealing with that issue, because it has been something that has been looming in your life for some time. And there is a significant victory here with the Chariot card. The way in which you think about something has to be let go of, has to be healed from, processed, or moved away from, because it has been wanting to and needing to move out of your energy field for some time, so that you can move on, so that you can have a little more control over your thoughts, over your direction in life, and feel really balanced in moving you towards where you would like to go. Bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Swords, so that's really beautiful. The Nine of Swords is this feeling of having enough. Enough is what I'm hearing, and you are so entangled in your thought process or your stresses and worries that now it's time to finally dig a little deeper and root down into what is creating this anxiety, what is creating the stress and worry, and how can I take action to move on from this officially and see the expansion that I would like to see in life. And I feel you're going to do it, because this Nine of Swords hasn't quite committed in the upright or the reverse. However, I feel that it's all hinging on how you manage this, whether you allow it to fester and kind of hang out in your energy. And this is an easy energy, so I'm not saying that it's going to be an easy process, or it's not like you haven't done anything up to date to put this to bed. But I feel if you are on this path to managing your mental health or the way you think about something, I really do feel like you're at almost the finish line. Almost the finish line is what I'm hearing. So you're not quite ready to move on from it. And don't forget that this is a process of 2 steps forward and 1 step back. So don't worry about any setbacks you have. Don't worry that things aren't perfect. It takes a while to undo certain patterns or beliefs or thought processes that have really embedded itself into your life. So I do feel it's coming to a close, because the death energy confirms that. And we have the Chariot, which is successful victory and a moving on from in a very balanced way, with the Ace of Swords on the bottom of the deck, which is a beautiful brand new breakthrough, a beginning. So if you had any doubt that this isn't working or I'm not making progress, I feel like you're going to start seeing some significant progress very soon. So now I want to look at the expansion, and then we will get a couple of oracle cards to end the reading and finish it off there. We'll keep these pretty short. For Soul Path 1, what is this expansion? Did I see the Fool? Oh, look at that. I told you were going to be successful. What else about this Fool? What else about this Fool? It's a beautiful reading so far. It's difficult, but I feel you're really stepping into your power here. And the Empress in reverse. Okay. So there is a concern that moving into this Fool energy of I don't know what's next, of the discomfort zone, is a little worrisome. Can I take care of myself in this process? Can I take care of my body? Can I pay all the bills? There's a worry and a concern that you aren't going to be nourished or nurtured, or not have the capacity to nurture or nourish. But I feel like that might be a touch of a false fear. Now, that's not to say that it's not valid. Anytime we take a little bit of a risk, we do have to make sure that, for some of us that don't like taking risks, we may have to set up assurances in the way of savings in the bank, in the way of a plan or a process, which kind of harkens back to the authority of sticking to a plan, of sticking to a process, so that we have some level of comfort on this, in this place of discomfort, because it is going to be new for you. The way when we change our thinking, our thought patterns, our behaviors, and our actions, it is going to feel different. We are going to have different experiences. That is unpredictable, because we are shifting into this new timeline, or just simply into a new pattern that is going to be brand new. So there is experiences that are going to be a little bit different and may trigger a few old patterns to come back, but it's all in how we care for ourselves during this time, and making sure that we really nurture ourselves. Even though it could be a very exciting shift that you're moving towards or into, we do have to return back to self-care to ensure that we're not slipping back into old patterns and even old thoughts that are trying to pull us back into this old way. So the Empress is that mothering energy, that nurturing energy of seeing things through over the long term and really showing up with compassion and grace and love. So I feel that's part of the advice, is to not ignore that part of it. It's really lovely to be able to jump into something new and not worry too much about consequence, or not worry too much about the path ahead. Everything will work out. I'm getting that confidence. But we also have to make sure that we are taking care of things along the way and not taking too much risk that it threatens our progress along that path. So I do want to get a little bit of immediate future, because now I'm curious. Immediate future, 4 to 6 weeks for Soul Path 1, please, on this new journey. For Soul Path 1, please, on this new journey. King of Wands, beautiful. So you are stepping into confidence, possible leadership at a very quick rate. So I feel like this has been in you all along, that you're just starting to realize, I had this power and creativity and ambition and motivation this whole time. And there is your completion. There is your closure. And it's interesting, because I feel here you're almost waiting for the closure to happen before you move on. But I feel the closure is going to happen along the way. So it's not just, okay, we're done, let's move on, close the book, let's open a new one. You know, I'm seeing the finishing of a journal where you're on the last page, writing the last page of the journal, and then you close that up, you put it aside, and you open up a new journal. It's not like that. It's like the second to last page, and then you start the new journal, and you're kind of going back and forth a little bit as you move on the new path. You're kind of revisiting some things that still need to be put to rest, because coming back to that idea of things being triggered and it threatens your progress forward, I think that's when the huge shift is going to happen for you, is when you catch yourself in those thought patterns, in that worry, and then in that anxiety or fear that has prevented you from moving forward before. And that is where the huge progress happens for you, is maybe not in the counseling or the therapy session or the workshops or the courses that you're doing to shift this. It happens as you move on this new path. It happens as you experience things, as they come up, as you cross those crossroads and make decisions. So I feel like in the next 4 to 6 weeks, if there's this awareness that is being brought to the process, there's this focus on what you want to move towards, then I feel it's just a matter of taking those movements forward, but also having a little bit of a strategy and a plan and a structure in place for when certain things come up along the way. But I really feel you're stepping into authority here. You're really stepping into expression of ideas. You're stepping into leadership and creativity. You could be running your own business, so there's definitely more of an authority. There's a little bit more independence coming through. There's also a little bit more control over your direction and a lot more motivation. And then we come into the final chapter, the closing of that book, of the Ten of Swords, where things have finally been closed, because we are now confident, comfortable, secure in that structure of our new life or our new path. And this is the expansion, is that it's not only tied to closure, but it's a brand new journey, possibly in career, but it's definitely tied to your mental health or your mental growth or mental expansion. But also too, I just noticed that this is structure and foundations, and we have a little home here. So you could even be finding yourself in a new home at some point. But I really feel this is going to open a lot of new doorways for you in all aspects of life. So let us get you a couple of, or an oracle card to end your reading. So for Soul Path 1, ending their reading. What do you have to share to end their reading? Soul Path 1. Final message for Soul Path 1, please, Spirit. For Soul Path 1. Ah, love, 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 love. So we have love. Now, I feel like you're going to love life is what I'm hearing. You're going to love life again. You're going to love what you're doing. You're going to possibly have those stronger relationships like we talked about with the red tiger's eye. You're going to be able to maintain that and build that love for self and love for others in your life, whether that's platonic or romantic. I feel there's a stronger foundation there that you have kind of a jumping off point from now. Whereas before it might have been a little bit on rocky ground. It may have even triggered certain things, and you have been easily triggered up till this point. So it's been kind of safe for you to be here because it's expected, but it's not necessarily ideal. And I feel you're finally breaking that pattern so that you can have the experiences that you want with people and places and things in your life that you want to have. And it all stems from this place of love. Now, easier said than done, and that is a lifelong process. It doesn't just happen, right? Just like this doesn't just happen. It is a process, and it's all about progress, not about perfection. Bottom of the deck, seek healing. So I do think that there's a lot of healing happening here. You are putting to rest a lot of old patterns, possibly healing some ancestral traumas or pains as well, something from your childhood. So this is big energy, and it's also expansive energy because we are now finally letting these ghosts from our past go and not letting them control us anymore, but moving ahead with great confidence and great freedom. So this is what I have for you, Soul Path 1. If it resonated, feel free to comment, subscribe to the channel for more readings, or book a personal reading by clicking on the link in the description box. And with gratitude, I'm sending you my love. Stay curious, and we will see you in your next reading. Hello, Soul Path 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Aragonite Stone with all of the answers are within and the Observe card. So, interestingly, these were both chosen at random, and they work so well together, Observe and all of the answers are within. It makes me feel like you're on a bit of a hermit journey, or trusting your intuition a little more, maybe even embracing your personal power. But this moment is for your observation, to learn something about yourself. And this could be about career, your career path, the money situation that you might be dealing with, your relationships or self. I do feel this is a very self-exploratory journey. This is introspection and kind of stopping or slowing down to figure out what's next. And you could be looking to the external world to find answers, but I feel Spirit's coming through today to share that you have the answers within you already. And this could also be a call to have a little more fun in that process. It doesn't have to be serious or heavy, especially when we do spiritual work. A lot of the times, we're diving into our subconscious and the darker parts, our shadow parts, and that can be really heavy. But this could be a moment to observe from a place of pleasure and know that it's okay to be a little bit carefree in this process, to be a little playful. And not everything has to be planned and structured and routine. So there's a little bit of adventure and spontaneity coming through with this card in particular. And this may even be a time where you're coming out of hermit mode, where you have done some introspection and moving into the external world and being a little bit more extroverted in your observations so that you can maybe put some things to use. And maybe that in itself is an observation of what are all the things that you find pleasurable, you find joyful outside of the home or outside of the safety of self. How can you have those joyful fulfilling connections and experiences in the external world. So let's get into the cards now and see what they have to say. First, we'll start with an energy card for Soul Path 2. Where are they at currently? I wouldn't be surprised if the Hermit card came out, or the High Priestess. Where are they currently? Soul Path 2, current energy. And this topic may be what Spirit wants to talk about, but maybe not. We will see. For Soul Path 2, where are they? Okay. So, I feel this has to do with finding yourself among people and places that you love. This is moving you towards joy, pleasure, playfulness, heart-centered connections. Could be romantic or platonic. It's opening yourself up to life again, and you having new feelings about it. I feel like you are starting to get a little more comfortable with the idea of being vulnerable, especially if you want to expand your social networks, or if you want to open yourself up to love again, if that's feeling aligned to you, of course. Now, the aragonite stone, interestingly enough, a little bit of a side note, which I forgot to mention, it speaks about having deep peace and self-forgiveness and allowing yourself to express from a really deep and authentic place. It is also about healing work and having so much compassion for yourself and others. So I almost wonder if this is a little bit of past energy that you've experienced, to do that work, to observe yourself, maybe in relation to others, or observe where you are in your life and go within to look for that really deep healing, to work on that and to have compassion for. That compassion is coming forth now in your energy, where you're finally feeling okay enough or fulfilled enough to express that in relationships or express that into the world in some way. There's an emotional fulfillment that is starting to happen, or emotional alignment that's starting to happen, because you have done this work and you have found some sense of security within self to allow being vulnerable with how you feel, with your expression of love. And I don't feel that it was easy, though. You had to possibly go quite deep within to find your sense of security, to move through some storms that you may not have been ready for, but you persevered and you moved through it with great strength and resilience. This is also related to the sign of Capricorn, so I feel like you really put your head down and did the work. Also, this aragonite stone is connected to the number 9 in numerology. So again, it's wrapping up old things, bringing things to completion. And I feel you have really done that, especially with the Ace of Cups coming out. This is a fresh new way of feeling, a fresh new way of expressing yourself and opening yourself up to life again. And bottom of the deck, we have more emotional energy with the 2 of Cups. So again, you want to have stronger connections with the people in your life to maintain a healthy relationship, and soulful connections. So not just I like you, you like me, or I like the way you look, or I like the way you talk. This is deep. It is emotional, connecting on the emotional level and even the spiritual level. So there's soulful unity happening with people in your life because of this energy that you are bringing to the table. That could be romantic, that could be platonic, but I feel overall this is a really positive, fresh new beginning for you. Now, what would Spirit like to say? We're going to open the door for Spirit to come through with strongest messages. I don't know if it's going to be related to this or something else, but strongest messages, we'll get 2 cards. Aha! Okay, so yeah, they do want to talk about it a little bit. And that's typically how it goes. We got two heavy hitters here. We've got two major arcanas. We've got the Tower card in the reverse. And we have the Devil in the upright. So this feels very much like you against your old attachments to things. It could be people, it could be experiences, it could be career path, it could be your way of thinking. There's something that you were connected to that you really worked hard to detach yourself, and I almost feel a little bit of a battle. You've battled this for quite some time, and you've really had to observe yourself in this devil energy of how am I showing up? How am I attaching myself to this? What am I making assumptions about? What are the beliefs that I carry? And that is possibly keeping me attached to this thing. And in order to detach from this devil, you have had to go on a significant quest to completely blow the foundations out of the water, to stop this energy in its tracks. And you did that by removing the pillars of what brought this energy into your life to begin with. So again, those could be beliefs, those could be thought patterns, actions, behaviors, and it could all be one entangled thing that you've had to unravel over a period of time, but it required an awareness and observation on your part, which I feel you have done and you are currently possibly working through. And why this Ace of Cups is coming out, because you have developed a really strong, deep peace within self as it relates to these attachments that are no longer serving you. So possibly self-compassion, self-love, self-forgiveness, self-expression, and having confidence in that, not allowing this devilish energy or those unhealthy people or situations or attachments to rule your life anymore. You have completely cut them off at the knees, metaphorically speaking. And that has created a shift in your life, a very significant shift where everything could have possibly changed. And I feel part of this was your doing. Part of this was also universal, or its time, divine timing energy. And so it could have really made you face, I'm almost feeling like a crossroads energy where it really made you face some darker parts of yourself, maybe your situation, and realize this isn't where I want to go. And in order for me to change directions and to have a more joyful life, I have to completely change everything in my life, to the people that I hang out with, to what I do for work, where I live, how I think, how I feel. So you've really cleared the way for a lot of fresh new things to grow here. And with bottom of the deck, 7 of Cups, I feel like you really assessed and went deep into that emotional body of what are my fears, what are my dreams, how do I see myself, and how do I feel in all of this. You've really done the work to do some deep emotional healing, some processing, and also to reestablish what your dreams are. Maybe you lost them in the shuffle in all of this. So, yeah, I really feel like you've done a lot of work. I feel a huge weight being lifted off of your shoulders. Yeah, you really fought your way through this with the 7 of Wands here. And what else? Ace of Cups. I do want to know what that Ace of Cups is. You stood your ground. You aren't settling for less anymore. And there's the Hermit energy. We knew he was in there somewhere. But you're going your own way, and you're having confidence in that, even though things are unclear, things are unsure. We have the 7 of Cups at the bottom of the deck once again. Things are maybe not what you expected them to be. I almost feel like you don't have a choice anymore because you want so greatly to have a new feeling, of having a new experience, of moving in a new direction. And we have another major arcana with the Hermit. So again, this is something that is helping you develop personally and spiritually for your highest good, for your greatest growth. And you're doing it. You're doing the thing. You are persevering. You are being resilient in this process. And you don't fear the unknown. You don't fear moving into the shadow parts. You are realigning to your North Star again. You are using your own internal wisdom and intuition to move yourself in this new direction. So a new direction is at hand here. Spirit's wanting is kind of sharing a little bit of the story, but I feel a new direction is at hand. It is incoming. Now, this new direction, which I feel started with self, as a lot of stuff in life tends to be, there's so many new things that are going to be expanding in your life because of that. So there could be a new job opportunity that you decide to go after because you now feel okay to move in that direction. You now feel confident. You are no longer thinking that you can't or doubting your way forward or your abilities. You are standing up for the things that you want in life. Even yourself, which is a beautiful energy and does change a lot of things when we start to change how we show up in life, our actions, our behaviors, our choices. And you're making new choices, I feel, that is aligned to self-respect, self-expression. Let's look at future energies next 4 to 6 weeks. Where is this leading you? 4 to 6 weeks for Soul Path 2. Where is this leading them? And if you haven't found yourself in this energy yet, or you're still kind of feeling a little bit wobbly, I think the guidance and advice is to continue to follow your own intuition, your North Star, and not to doubt that, to stand up for that, especially when the devil threatens to pull us back into old patterns or old ways, or with old people or situations, because I feel you've done a lot of work up to this point. So to not doubt your direction forward, to not doubt what it is you're working towards. So weird, the Seven of Cups showed up again, and I did a few shuffles on that one, so that's really interesting. Seven of Swords. This is trusting your truth, stepping into your truth. And the Three of Swords. So this is going to move you. So I feel there's going to be an initial push to stand up for what you want, what you believe in, what you desire. And then it's going to get a little bit tricky, but don't fear, because this is part of the process. So Seven of Cups, bottom of the deck there. With the Seven of Cups in the upright here, and it's come up multiple times already, I'm almost feeling like there's some fantasy or illusion that is being broken down, and you're now realigning to the reality that you want to live. So maybe some promises were made that are not coming to fruition. Maybe your dreams are changing, so it's time to take a step back and really observe that. Take a look at that on a deeper level. This is you stepping into your truth to release the shame and the guilt that you might carry when you, quote, blow up your life in a way where you're changing so many things and you feel like you're becoming a different person overnight. Or, you know, there's a significant shift. It's almost like an earthquake, and you're kind of moving with that shift. But it feels very inauthentic, but also really authentic at the same time. So I feel that energy might be incoming in the 4 to 6 weeks where you are making these changes. People are coming to the table, maybe doubting, what are you doing? I thought you wanted this. Why are you doing that? But I feel this is you breaking out of a shell that has been so restrictive that you haven't been able to fully express yourself in a way that this is allowing you to now. So you're breaking that shell It might feel a little inauthentic at first, or you might have some self-doubt and some shame and guilt that comes up because of it. So to process that and understand why you're doing what you're doing, and remembering where you're going, why you're doing it. Because I feel it is for the greater good and the highest expression of self, of moving into whatever potential you see fit, of whatever goals that you want to achieve for yourself. And it will bring up a little bit of hurt, a little bit of pain, whether for others, but I feel for yourself mostly, because this is a moment of closure. It is a moment of saying goodbye. It is an ending, a very significant ending, a very shocking ending. Now, of course, I will say, don't let tarot tell you what to do. Always make decisions that are in your best interest and that feel best for you. But whatever you're deciding, I feel like it's going to be a little bit shocking even to you. But at the same time, very truthful. And with that, there will be a little bit of pain and broken hearts along the way. I feel that will be a little bit of yours as well, because this is not how you wanted things to go. And I do feel you do have a big heart, and that came through in the beginning. You do not want to cause pain in other people, but understand that you can do this with compassion. You can do this with diplomacy. The way you go about doing it is going to be really important. And just to remember your dreams, the things that you're moving towards, and all of the work that you've done up to this point. Because whatever this is, I feel is comfortable, or was comfortable, but it wasn't really feeling good anymore. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it was bad. It just means that it's no longer for you. And so sometimes we have to. This is feeling like a spiritual awakening, where you're just, I don't want to say waking up one day, because it's a bigger, more significant process than that, but you're starting to look around and realizing, like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Where am I going? This is not where I want to be, or this is not what I want to do. And so you are taking action to realign yourself, which is exciting, but also really tough too. So expect that to come in and move through that process of healing through those difficult moments, because it may require your I want to say the work that you've done to come back in to help with this compassion, to help bring back deep peace into your life. So to be soft with yourself and others. Final message for Soul Path 2, please. All right, so do nothing. This could be a time where you don't have to necessarily do something to see change, but just remember, I mean, it kind of is going back to this observe. In this current particular moment, it might be a time to just observe things, to look around at your friendship groups, your relationships, your career path, your money situation, and even self, to see, is this where I want to be? Is this how I want to feel? And so I feel like the stopping and the pausing and the doing nothing is going to help you tap into that as a first step. And I feel that is this first step. So it's, yes, we can look at the path and get really excited about where we're going and what's going to happen. But also remember that the choices and the things we do in the moment are going to shape our future. So we really want to be mindful about that and conscientious about how we make those decisions, about how we move, what we stand up for, who we stand up against, and how we go about doing that. And I feel there is something that needs to be developed at this time, because there are going to be big energies incoming. There are going to be some things that you have to work through within the heart space. But I feel you are really in the moment developing this deep self-forgiveness, this compassion for self, doing the healing work, and building up the courage to maybe making the changes that you need to move forward. So So this is what I have for you, Soul Path 2. If it resonated, feel free to comment, subscribe to the channel for more readings, or book a personal reading by clicking on the link in the description box. And with gratitude, I'm sending you my love. Stay curious, and I'll see you in your next reading. Hello, Soul Path 3. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the tree agate stone with You Don't Always Need a Plan and Calm. Now these were chosen at random, and it's interesting how they always align. And this one came in on its side. So I feel like you're being challenged right now to stay calm in a situation. You want to take action. You want to change it. You want to see improvements. And you're trying to make a plan or a strategy to do that, but it's not quite working out, or it's not giving you the results that you need. Tree agate, interestingly enough, is a very grounded stone. It is connected to nature, and nature has its rhythms. It has its seasons. So you might be in a season where you have to just go with the flow or have some sense of calm as you approach a challenge. So there's a call to be flexible, to survive the storms or seasons that we have in life, and to really come to the table with strength and resilience. So I feel like this is building some kind of muscle for you right now. Now, the tree agate also links the mind and the body. And so this is almost feeling like you need to see how the mind is affecting the body and vice versa. So maybe there is a need to find more stillness. Maybe there is a need to find more activity. So either way, this is kind of calling you to ground yourself in some form or fashion, and maybe not take action towards something that you're trying to achieve. But I feel like this is a bit of a moment of self-care, in a sense where we are caring for our mind and our body. Now, the tree agate is also connected to Gemini and Scorpio, so you could be one of those signs, as well as number 2 and number 7. So those could be numbers for you that are in alignment. So some choices might need to be made at this time, but you also may be experiencing setbacks, which feel a little counterintuitive. It's like, I've made a choice and I've taken action, but I'm not seeing any results. I'm not seeing any movement. So there's a bit of frustration and irritability coming through, because no matter which path you seem to take, there always seems to be a setback or a pause in action, which I almost feel is universal more than you doing anything wrong. So I feel like there is a call to not have a plan at this moment. And this is the Lucky Pig card. So it's like you're trying to create your own luck. This is Magician energy, but it's just not happening. But I almost feel like Spirit's trying to come through to say, no, this next version of life or next chapter or something doesn't require a plan or doesn't need your involvement. It's just going to kind of take you there, and you have to be open and receptive and allowing to let Spirit come in and do that for you or help you find that way. So let's take a look at your energy in all of this. And maybe this is your energy, I'm not sure. Maybe you are a planner though, so not having a plan or a specific goal or a surefire way to get to that goal has been challenging for you. Okay, so rejoice in celebration. We've got the 3 of Cups here. So this is about social networks, having fun with friends, connections, heart-centered connections, and just having fun in life. This almost feels like the pleasures will lead you to the results. So it's almost like I'm getting a very ambitious energy. So you could be a very ambitious person, but in order for you to see movement or success or progress, it's like you have to change your tune or change your gear from going after that thing to having a little bit more fun and being open to the pleasures of life, because the joys and the pleasures will open you up to receive the abundance that you're looking for. And yeah, this is also spontaneous energy, where you don't need to have everything planned, because it doesn't allow the spontaneity of the universe or the spontaneity of getting together last minute with friends. It kind of limits that when there is a plan for everything. So this might be a time to step into staying calm when there isn't a plan and opening yourself up to the joys. Now, there is a moving on energy with the Six of Swords here at the bottom of the deck, which again, I feel it's requiring you to have a bit of a mindset shift when it comes to your current way forward or your current way of doing something. And I'm not sure if this is, I am getting a strong career, very ambitious person, somebody that wants to see improvements in their money situation or on their career path, but not able to see that at this time. So again, this is almost like a shift in focus, especially with this moving on energy. It's like, instead of focusing on that thing that I was moving towards before, I have to shift where there is pleasure and joy, because that is going to lead me to the next thing, not this path over here. But it requires a mindset shift because it is a bit counterintuitive. It's not, yeah. But maybe even to have a little bit more fun and being a little bit playful when it comes to your work. And I'm getting Four of Pentacles energy, so it's a very reserved energy of, I'm going to hang on to kind of everything that I have, and there's a structure and a plan in place, and if I veer off of that plan, then I won't find success. So there needs to be a little bit of a release of that grip and an allowance in that process. So that, I think that's why the calm card is here, to know that you can be calm in the face of adversity, in the face of not having a plan and going with the flow. Flow is the biggest keyword that I'm getting here. Yeah. So because we have cup energy, we have emotions, and emotions may be running high. So again, that grounding energy. So let's ask Spirit, what would you like to share with Soul Path 3, please? And it may be something different than this message here, but we will see. Okay, Five of Wands in the reverse. And Queen of Wands in the reverse. So, okay. I feel like this is... we have the Judgment in reverse on the bottom of the deck. So there definitely feels like a shift in direction here, or a shift in how you take action. And that kind of came out in the channeled messages there at the beginning. I feel like there's a lot of tension in terms of how you're approaching something. There could even be some internal conflict or conflicting priorities, where you're taking action in multiple areas of life but not seeing results, so a bit of a scattered energy. And lacking confidence. I feel like your confidence is waning in this process. It's like, this worked before, and I used to have motivation to be able to do all of this, or to really push my way through, but I'm not able to do that. And there's a confusion or a misunderstanding of, why is this not happening? This could be internal conflict as well, or something that's happening within you versus the external. There could even be some feelings of giving up. Why bother? If it is something to do with the external and people that you might have been up against, disagreed with, then this could also be to let that fight go and to not have the need to convince people of a certain way of doing something or taking action. So it's kind of agreeing to disagree, letting bygones be bygones, and so you can reserve that energy for something more important or higher priority at this time. because I feel there's a real focus on action and moving towards my goals and having so much fire that I'm not able to really connect with that emotional aspect of it, of does this matter? Is this important? Is this the direction I want to go, and is this how I want to move? So there's almost a change in purpose here too, I'm feeling, where maybe your purpose is changing or shifting. And maybe there's a lack of motivation because of that. And also a fear of, well, now my focus or my purpose is different and changing. I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan on what that looks like. I don't know where it's going to take me. So again, I'm getting that foot off the gas for a minute to observe that and to stay calm in that process. That can be a little bit of a shift. So what else? Guidance and advice. Or what other messages would like to come through for Soul Path 3, please? Thank you. One more. Thank you. We have more reversals. So we have the Page of Wands. I'm definitely feeling like there's a new business, a new career path here. A very ambitious energy. So again, that ambition is coming through very strongly with the Wands. And the Hermit in reverse. So I think part of your guidance and advice is to explore new avenues, to explore new ways of doing something, to explore how to take action. And the only way that you can do that is in the calmness of your mind and in the joys and pleasures of people, places, and things, rather than taking fast, quick action towards the next thing. I feel like this is a moment to really pause and reflect, because there's blockages right now to you moving forward. And that could be because something has shifted within your energy, within your spirit, within your direction, and you might not even be aware of that. So I think this is a time to connect with that. And we do have the Five of Cups, so there is grief and sorrow coming through. Now, it could be attached to grief and sorrow of possible regret or a disappointment in life. And so that needs to be processed. The emotions, and again, we have a lot of fire and not a ton of emotions coming through, with the exception of the opening energy card and the bottom of the deck here. So it's like there needs to be a balance or a rebalance of action and fire and kind of the emotions and receiving of filling your cup up, of knowing what to fill your cup up with, so that you can really be clear about your way forward and maybe start something new with a very clear mind, clear heart. Now, this could be a new relationship as well, where you want to see changes within a relationship and the changes aren't happening. So I feel it's about having fun again in that relationship versus trying to push for change or see improvements or stick to that rigid schedule or plan that you may have. This is about shaking things up a bit, being more spontaneous and reconnecting at the heart level, but also reconnecting with wants, needs, desires within self, and making sure that the relationship is aligned with that, especially if you have seen some spiritual growth in your life. Okay. Wasn't quite ready for that, but I'm curious. Yeah, see, we've got Three of Cups, reverse, Queen of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. So there's definitely some changes happening that I don't think that you're quite aware of. And it's asking you to move out of the Queen of Wands energy into the Queen of Cups. So again, receiving. Not receiving inspiration to take action, but receiving love, receiving and allowing things, of going with the flow, of knowing what emotions are yours, what emotions are other people's, and bringing things back into balance on an emotional level, and also having fun in the process, to not have it be so serious. This could create some inner conflict though. So let's see, immediate future, 4 to 6 weeks. Where are you headed in 4 to 6 weeks? Yeah, it's like allowing life to happen right now is the general energy that I'm getting, rather than taking action, because all of the action cards are in reverse and the Hermit card is in reverse, which means that there is a lack of looking inward. So I think that's why everything is kind of blocked at this time, because it is time to assess. We have the Seven of Pentacles here. We have the Page of Swords in the reverse. So definitely a lack of clarity coming through, and we have another page. So this is kind of being okay making mistakes and allowing your mistakes to shape your future, not be defined by them. But also the Seven of Pentacles is a little bit of a setback here. So I think over the next 4 to 6 weeks, you are going to be taking this step back to look at what's working, what's not, what has really done well, possibly in business or in my money or even relationships, and what hasn't done so well, but I keep investing my time and energy in. So this is pruning energy. We're gonna, instead of putting our efforts into a whole bunch of different places and maybe hope that something sticks eventually, we're gonna get really focused and start looking at things in detail of what's working, what's not, and cutting out the things that aren't doing so well to refocus our energy and our efforts towards the things that are working well. So again, that could be your career path, the tasks that you take on day to day at work. If you run a business, this is looking at your finances in business, your income, your expenses. Maybe there's been some shifts there and it's time to reassess. Or maybe there's certain things that you're offering in business that isn't working anymore like it used to. So it's time to cut that offering out and maybe double down on another offering that seems to be picking up. And in relationships, it's like, what is not aligning with me at this moment, and what is it that I need? And not only something that I can maybe do for myself, but what is it that I need from my partner in order for this relationship to feel balanced and a little bit more fun and connected. But I feel there's going to be a desire to see things from a fresh perspective and to do some new things, to see things from a very clear point of view. But it's going to require a little bit of trial and error. It's going to require you to be open-minded and to learning. Don't be afraid of the things that you come across in the Seven of Pentacles energy, where you're realizing, like, holy cow, I've been doing this for so long and it's not working for me anymore. Don't continue to do that thing if it's not working and it doesn't feel aligned. It's time to adjust and make some shifts so that it does come back into balance and it does feel more aligned. So don't be afraid of the mistakes you come across. Use them as lessons to move forward and to improve your path ahead. And we have the Emperor energy at the bottom of the deck, which I feel is kind of what you're moving towards. And the underlying energy is you ultimately want to have a little more control over your path, over maybe how you make money, how much you make, over the things that happen within your relationship, but not to a point where you're micromanaging or you're controlling another person, but not feeling like you're at the whims of someone else, but you have the authority to maybe go in and ask for that raise, or maybe have a conversation with your partner to say, this is what I need more of because I'm feeling either overwhelmed or I need more help around the house or whatever it is. Having those really honest, grounded conversations to build a stronger foundation, and having a little bit more of an authority to have that independence within relationships and getting what you need to feel secure and confident in your movement forward, as well as your career and your money. So to have a little more control and a little bit more of a foundation set up for your money situation, to have more money in the bank. And that means cutting out the things that aren't working, or cutting out those subscriptions that you've been paying for and haven't really been using. But it requires you to take a look at that stuff and not feel guilt or shame over what you come across and the results. It's about having that authority and kind of, I want to say, detaching. It's about connecting, but also detaching from maybe some feelings that you have about the discoveries that you come across or about things changing, and to not personalize that, but to really step into this leadership and authority and to align with where we want to go in our future to create that stability and that foundation that is going to help us feel more secure and grounded and confident and independent on our journey. So let's get an oracle card to end your reading. Soul Path 3. Soul Path 3. Soul Path 3. Soul Path. Okay. Yes. So you got 2. I'll take it. We have higher power. So I do think you are stepping into a higher power of more authority in your life, of maybe a stronger sense of expression and strength, a little bit more strength. And we have slow it down. So we talked about that. This is a period of slowing down to connect into your higher power. And you won't be able to do that until you slow things down, until you stop taking action and use the setback as an opportunity to explore, to uncover, to stay calm and to not work with a plan, but to stay open and to allow to what you might discover, what may come to you, what might happen spontaneously in the process. This could bring up a little anxiety, but I feel that's also a good opportunity to really find ways to ground yourself, to find ways to explore stillness, or to find a little more calm and serenity during this time of change. So this is what I have for you, Soul Path 3. If it resonated, feel free to comment. Subscribe to the channel for more readings, or book a personal reading by clicking on the link in the description box. And with gratitude, I'm sending you my love. Stay curious, and we'll see you in your next reading.